The city of Pittsburgh has given a grant to a local business that would help them expand their franchise here. I'm Anthony Saviello. I'll have more details as to what this means for the city of Pittsburgh and for taxpayers coming up.
Plus, Mercy Hospital stresses the critical need for blood donations and what caused a gas leak on South Joplin Avenue in Joplin.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The city of Miami, Oklahoma is hiring an independent investigator to look into allegations of misconduct against Police Chief Thomas Hightower Anderson. The city did not provide details about the allegations, simply saying they were personnel matters. They also say the investigator will conduct a full, fair, and competent investigation. Chief Anderson has been placed on paid administrative leave until the investigation is complete. The city of Pittsburgh agrees to match 10% of an $800,000 project that would allow for a new expansion of a local business. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the details.
$80,000 is what the city of Pittsburgh has granted the local Blue Spoon business, the money to be used to transform this rundown building, formerly known as Spicer Adams Welding, into this.
So they came to us with a plan to buy an existing building, the Spicer Adams building that's been in Pittsburgh for a long time, and the associated property around it, to develop it into a little speakeasy bar with seating out back, and then a public area behind that where they could have concerts. They'll have a small stage, and as well as food trucks.
The proposal had full support from the Economic Development Advisory Committee.
So they asked the city for a 10% match. So the EDAC, our committee that recommends that, made that recommendation to the City Commission, and last night the City Commission approved that. So they'll get up to $80,000 based on how much they spend developing the project.
The grand total of the project is an estimated $800,000. The city of Pittsburgh says that this type of grant is available to any local business looking to expand its footprint.
We have about $1 million a year through our sales tax to help incentivize businesses to grow, to start new, and so that's how that's used.
City Manager Darren Hall also says this kind of venue fits perfectly into the Pittsburgh atmosphere.
And it's right off of downtown. There's so much energy going on downtown with Gorilla Rising and everything else that's being developed that it's just a stone's throw. It's an easy place to walk to. Anytime we can get the community together, having a good time, relaxing, and then the college students make everything just that much more exciting and fun. So yeah, I think it's a big win-win for everybody.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Projected completion of the project is next spring. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joining us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it turned out to be a hot one for us today, but right where we should be for this time of the year. Our high temp was 91, started at 67, average high is 91, record high 105, set back just 2 years ago in 2022. Most of us outside right now, we're sitting kind of lower 80s, still some upper 80s once you get out across southeastern Kansas. Not a whole bunch going on. We had some clouds earlier, but underneath whatever clouds are left, nothing showing up on the radar, so we're going to stay pretty quiet as we go through the overnight hours. We'll drop back to about 68 for a low, rebound to 83 by 10 a.m. Now, as we go down the next couple days, we are going to see some isolated thunderstorms trying to work in, especially on Friday and Saturday. So better chances late Friday into Saturday, plus the heat and the humidity really kicking in. So we're going to be talking about all that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A blood donation center based in Springfield is asking the community for help with a blood shortage in the area. Community Blood Center of the Ozarks says the shortage is historic, with the lowest amount of blood inventoried in 2 years. KOAM's Mitch Adams has the story.
I thank God. It's a very emotional thing to say, but for 2 years I pretty much kept her alive, because every 8 weeks or so I was there the first time and the bag was coded to go straight to Edith.
The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks is in dire need for blood donors. According to the center's website, over 60,000 donations of blood are required each year to supply people with transfusions. The CBCO says that they are down to a historically low supply of blood, the lowest in the past 2 years.
We're experiencing a local shortage and have an emergency need of blood. We're asking community members to step up, make an appointment, and come in and donate.
Someday, someone in your families is going to need a lot of blood instantly, and you're going to be glad someone else has donated.
Donating blood is a life-saving action in many cases, but the changing seasons can have an effect on amounts of blood stored.
Summer can be a challenging time for the local blood supply, part of that being we collect 40% of our blood from high school and college students.
Some ways you can help are by attending local blood drives and donating a pint of blood. Individuals with rare blood types are highly encouraged to donate for other rare blood types in need. The Community Blood Center of the Ozarks, who provides blood for over 40 different hospitals and healthcare centers in the 4 states, says that they are down to just a day's supply left of blood, urging people to locate a blood drive near them and donate if possible. Reporting from Mercy Hospital in Joplin, Missouri, I'm Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Well, this Friday, KOAM is teaming up with Hideout Harley-Davidson and the Community Blood Center of the Ozarks for the Boots, Badges, and Bandages Blood Drive. Donors will receive a custom Hideout t-shirt, Boots and Badges t-shirt, and a Hideout Harley-Davidson giveaways while supplies last. The blood drive will be held at Hideout in Joplin from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Authorities in southeast Kansas seized a large amount of narcotics this morning. A multi-agency law enforcement team served a search warrant around 7:30 at a Galena home. Detectives seized a large quantity of methamphetamine from the residence, along with paraphernalia and marijuana. A woman was arrested at the residence and is now facing multiple charges, including distribution of a controlled substance within 1,000 feet of a school and possession of methamphetamine. Joplin authorities respond to a gas leak today on South Joplin Avenue. According to the JPD, sometime early this morning or during the night, a vehicle struck a gas meter, shearing it off. Authorities call it a hit and run due to the property damage. At one point, police shut down a 2-block radius to all traffic due to the significance of the leak. Well, a new turn in the battle to get trash picked up in parts of the Southwest Missouri. Frustration from Cards customers has gone on for months now. In the past few days, several customers say they haven't had trash picked up for weeks. Adam Woodbury reports on a young man working on a solution for his neighbors in Wright County.
He's just trying his best and he's working really hard. And
trash building up on the curb.
He's very genuine in his desires to help the community.
That's the reality for many in Wright County.
Yep. This is how the old trash company started out, so I decided to do the same thing.
A reality Farmer Deckard is working to change. Many in his community say they're fed up with Cards Recycling not picking up their trash.
They started out decent for our place. They would come, they may be a day or two late, but the last 3 months, they show up maybe once a month. They ain't showed up for a month now.
Justin Dedman is one of many card customers who reached out to KY3 News, hoping we could find some answers after his questions went unanswered. He says he prepaid for 3 months of trash pickup, and when Cards didn't pick up, he tried to cancel.
Cards said, yeah, you can cancel, but we're not giving your year money back.
KY3 has been covering Cards for months. Complaint after complaint about trash not getting picked up. Calls unanswered, promises to pick it up not kept, and no refunds. We didn't get a call back from them today about the new complaints, but a company spokesperson told KY3 back in April he didn't think they would fall behind again and promised refunds on a case-by-case basis.
What we're really working towards getting finished by this Saturday and making sure, and it might run a little bit over into that Sunday morning. I don't believe it will, but I can confidently say that starting Monday, we'll be back to regular schedule.
Well, no one was happy with Cards, so I just thought, well, heck, go ahead and try doing it. See what happens.
That's where Farmer has now stepped in. He set up shop and began loading the Cards customers' trash into his trailer. Since then, Farmer has been picking up trash, and word around the community is spreading.
My little brother, he told me that, hey, if you need help, Farmer said he started picking up trash. So I called Farmer yesterday, and he'll be out here Monday to start picking my trash up.
Many are now paying him for their trash service.
What do you feel like you've gotten out of doing this?
Just helping the community. Out doing it is what I look at it. Helping them.
If you're still having issues with your trash and can't get answers, you can always report businesses to the Better Business Bureau and the Attorney General's office.
Well, coming up, how a new at-home test could help prevent deaths from colorectal cancer. It's a leading cause of cancer death in the U.S., but experts say many colorectal cancer deaths can be prevented through screening tests. However, traditional methods are not always popular with patients because of their invasiveness. Mandy Gaither has more on a new study which looked into whether a newer at-home test is effective in detecting colorectal cancer.
When it comes to colorectal cancer, there are several tests used for screening. Which one to choose depends on the patient.
The best test is the one that gets done and done well.
Dr. Chaik Dalbany with the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is lead author of a study which looked at whether the fecal immunochemical test, or FIT, is effective in detecting hidden blood in the stool, which can be an early sign of cancer. The FIT test is ideal for some because it's done at home, completed with one stool sample. There's no prep, no special diets or medicine, and it's inexpensive. But does it work?
So this study basically confirms that it is effective. First of all, estimates are around 33% effectiveness in reducing deaths from colorectal cancer. But also more importantly, it's effective across racial and ethnic groups that were studied, i.e. Black people, white people, and Asian people.
The researchers say it was especially effective at detecting cancer in the left colon and in the rectum. Dalbany says the test wasn't as effective for the right side, which is where the colon begins.
Almost all of the tests we use for colon cancer screening are perhaps slightly less effective on that side because it's harder to reach.
If the FIT test is positive for hidden blood, Dalbany says it's critical to immediately follow up with a colonoscopy. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The doctor says the FIT test is simple, but the instructions need to be followed. If a patient has questions on how to complete it, talk to your doctor. Colorectal cancer is a disease that disproportionately affects Black Americans, but a new paper in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute highlights ways to close that gap. Researchers found eliminating differences in both follow-up rates and colonoscopy quality would reduce the colorectal cancer incident gap between Black and white people by 49%. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, after a historic 2024 season, Pitt State's softball coach announces she's headed to the Division I level.
Well, of course, turned out to be a hot one for us today. Temperatures into lower 90s. We've had a slow warming trend as we have worked through the past several days. So it's getting hot out there. Here's a nice shot a little bit earlier of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex right before it got dark, looking through downtown Joplin. All right, temperatures outside for a 79 Monette, 82 in Anderson. We have 84 in Chautauqua. 87 still in Neodesha. Lamar is checking in at 82 degrees. And if we look at our humidity, it's kind of creeped up a little bit over the past couple days. So dew points sitting mid to upper 60s. So let's look at our tracker, and that puts us kind of in that sticky to muggy range. And that's where we are going to sit as we go through the next couple days. Had some cumulus clouds out there earlier, had a random shower or two, but you can see the radar is dry for us right now, just besides some ground clutter around the radar sites. Upper level flow still out of Canada, so that's why we're not extremely hot. And we're going to focus on a little bit of tropical moisture down across the Gulf of Mexico, which should affect us a little bit later on in the week. Pretty calm tonight. We back down to about 68 or 70 degrees. As we go through the morning hours tomorrow, upper 80s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, a few hit and miss isolated storms. Only about 10 or 15% of us will see anything tomorrow. Most of you will stay on the dry side. Anything that does pop up dies down late evening. And then we go into Friday, start the day right around 70 degrees as we get into the afternoon. Again, hit and miss scattered storms only affecting about 10 to 20% of us, and high temperatures will be into lower 80s. All right, day planning for you Thursday, starting at 70, 88 by noon, 89 by 4. think a high temp right around 92 with, again, a few hit and miss storms. Heat indices start to come up just a little bit. We're going to have heat index kind of 95 to about 98 degrees, so a little bit higher than what we saw today, and then backs down mainly into the mid 90s by the time we head into Friday afternoon. Let's look down the road. Let's go into the weekend. Here's a weak wave. This really kind of works in late Friday into Saturday. Better chances for rain are going to be over from Springfield to Branson, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. Dry on Sunday. On Monday, dry as well. We start to heat up, upper 90s to near 100. We'll see if we can get a couple showers in here late Monday, but really heating up next week. We're going to be right around that triple digit mark. All right, 92 tomorrow, 89 on your Friday, 86 on Saturday. Back to 92 once we get into Sunday, 95 on Monday, and pushing 100 late next week.
Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, combating a counterfeit crisis.
Have you ever ordered high-end products and were delivered fakes? Well, now there's a fix for that, and it comes with an app. I'm Evan Brown in Miami. I'll have that story straight ahead.
We're learning more about the possible financial impacts of last week's devastating global IT outage. Now, the CrowdStrike software glitch will reportedly cost Fortune 500 companies alone more than $5 billion in direct losses. The IT meltdown hit healthcare and banking sectors the hardest, with a combined estimated loss of nearly $3 billion. Fortune 500 airlines such as American and United were the next most affected, losing a collective $860 million. As tech scams get more complicated, they're having a bigger impact, including on retail. Fox's Eben Brown has how authorities are trying to combat a counterfeit crisis.
As technology improves and AI becomes part of everyday life, scammers are getting more sophisticated, and that includes in the retail space. For years, experts have warned of a counterfeit crisis plaguing the industry, and now everything from fake Botox to 3D printed clothing is passing as the genuine article, giving some online shoppers a false sense of security.
All these little nice marketing stickers on our packages. Does that really mean that it's really organic? What does organic mean?
But now there is a solution. Verify is a company that specializes in high-tech verification for everyday consumer products. The technology is simple. They put their tags on boxes and bags. You can see the small black dot connected to antennas. Those tags then connect to an app that can verify the product you're getting is the one you paid for.
Human safety was our focus, and that a mother or someone who is a caregiver can be able to check really quickly against the product and check to see if it's authentic. And yeah, it's authentic.
Verify uses NFC, or near field communication, the same technology powering Apple or Samsung Pay. More than 160 brands are now using their tech to make supply lines safer, eliminating millions in damages and loss from counterfeiting by engaging the consumer in the process.
If we create portable accountability, utilizing such as our technologies, it is immutable. It cannot be copied.
And the Commerce Department says brand counterfeiting costs companies some $200 billion each year. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Evictions have exceeded pre-pandemic levels in some major cities. According to records, eviction filings were above pre-pandemic levels in Gainesville, Florida, Las Vegas, Houston, Phoenix, Nashville, and Fort Worth. Experts blame a combination of surging rental rates and the expiration of COVID-era protections. Up next, Team USA announces who will be joining LeBron James as flag bearer for the Paris Olympics opening ceremony. Coco Gauff will join LeBron James in leading Team USA at the Paris 2024 Olympics opening ceremony. The world #2 women's tennis star has been chosen as the female flag bearer. 20-year-old Gauff is making her Olympic debut. She was supposed to compete at the Tokyo 2020 Games, but did not after testing positive for COVID-19. Both singles and doubles tennis competition start Saturday. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The director of the FBI testifies before Congress about the Bureau's investigation into the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. Plus, Israeli Prime Minister delivers a controversial address to U.S. lawmakers.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. House lawmakers grilled FBI Director Christopher Wray today about the Bureau's investigation into the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. He's revealed more about what the shooter's laptop showed about his state of mind prior to the shooting. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has the story.
On July 6th, he did a Google search for, quote, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy?
The gunman who tried to kill former President Trump at a rally Googled details about President John F. Kennedy's assassination just days before the shooting. That's according to FBI Director Christopher Wray, who testified in front of House lawmakers on Wednesday about a laptop recovered by investigators.
And so that's a search that obviously is significant in terms of his state of mind.
Wray says authorities also recovered explosive devices in Thomas Crook's car and home, as well as a drone he appeared to be flying just 2 hours before the rally.
Not over the stage and that part of the area itself, but I would say about 200 yards, give or take, away.
2 hours before, he's flying a drone in the vicinity of the rally.
About 200 yards away, yes.
200 yards. Okay, that's important information.
The hearing taking place just 1 day after Kimberly Cheadle stepped down as Secret Service Director. Her resignation following mounting criticism from Democrats and Republicans about security failures on the day of the rally. More than a week after the shooting, many questions remain unanswered about the response by law enforcement.
Why was President Trump not kept off the stage?
We don't know the answer to that.
And there's an urgency to get answers. The House leaves tomorrow morning for summer break and will not return until September 9th. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Vice President Harris is riding a wave of momentum. She hit the campaign trail this afternoon, delivering remarks at a national convention of Zeta Pi Beta in Indianapolis, an historically black sorority founded at Howard University, which she attended. The Trump campaign has filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission, claiming the transfer of more than $91 million from the Biden to the Harris campaign is a campaign finance violation. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed a joint session of Congress at a time of deep division in the U.S. over the war in Gaza. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
This is not a clash of civilizations. It's a clash between barbarism and civilization. It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed a joint session of Congress, some of those lawmakers in attendance at odds with each other over the war in Gaza. Outside, Capitol Hill was flooded with thousands protesting his visit. Netanyahu recounted the tragic events of October 7th, recognized soldiers and families of hostages, and thanked President Biden for his support. The Prime Minister also called out anti-Israel protesters and college demonstrators using anti-Semitic language.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Netanyahu sat down with both Republican and Democratic leaders ahead of the speech.
This is a very important time. Our bipartisan congressional leadership recognized it as such and invited him here because our dear ally Israel is in an existential fight for its very existence.
But a number of Democrats were noticeably missing from the audience.
I am concerned about the billions of taxpayer dollars that are going to fund an effort that has to be stopped. The global community has condemned it. We saw what happened with the International Court, and I think it's time to make a stand.
Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet with President Biden and Vice President Harris on Thursday and on Friday with former President Trump. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A bit later, we'll check out all the fun going on at some local county fairs.
Well, of course, turned out to be a hot one for us today. Temperatures into lower 90s. We've had a slow warming trend as we have worked through the past several days. So it's getting hot out there. Here's a nice shot a little bit earlier of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex right before it got dark, looking through downtown Joplin. All right, temperatures outside for us: 79 Monette, 82 in Anderson. We have 84 in Chautauqua. 87 still in Neodesha. Lamar is checking in at 82 degrees. And if we look at our humidity, it's kind of creeped up a little bit over the past couple days. So dew points sitting mid to upper 60s. So let's look at our tracker, and that puts us kind of in that sticky to muggy range. And that's where we are going to sit as we go through the next couple days. Had some cumulus clouds out there earlier, had a random shower or two, but you can see the radar is dry for us right now, just besides some ground clutter around the radar sites. Upper level flow still out of Canada, so that's why we're not extremely hot. And we're going to focus on a little bit of tropical moisture down across the Gulf of Mexico, which should affect us a little bit later on in the week. Pretty calm tonight. We back down to about 68 or 70 degrees. As we go through the morning hours tomorrow, upper 80s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, a few hit and miss isolated storms. Only about 10 or 15% of us will see anything tomorrow. Most of you will stay on the dry side. Anything that does pop up dies down late evening. And then we go into Friday, start the day right around 70 degrees. As we get into the afternoon, again, hit and miss scattered storms, only affecting about 10 to 20% of us, and high temperatures will be into lower 80s. All right, day planning for you Thursday, starting at 70, 88 by noon, 89 by 4. I think a high temp right around 92 with, again, a few hit and miss storms. Heat indices start to come up just a little bit. We're going to have heat index kind of 95 to about 98 degrees, so a little bit higher than what we saw today, and then backs down mainly into the mid 90s by the time we head into Friday afternoon. Let's look down the road. Let's go into the weekend. Here's a weak wave. This really kind of works in late Friday into Saturday. Better chances for rain are going to be over from Springfield to Branson, but we are going to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. Dry on Sunday. On Monday, dry as well. We start to heat up, upper 90s to near 100. We'll see if we can get a couple showers in here late Monday, but really heating up next week. We're going to be right around that triple digit mark. All right, 92 tomorrow, 89 on your Friday, 86 on Saturday. Back to 92 once we get into Sunday, 95 on Monday, and pushing 100 late next week.
Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, Pittsburgh State softball coach Jenny Fuller leaves for a Division I school. Plus, Riverton's 12 and under All-Stars prepare for their Central Region tournament in Indiana. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Pittsburgh State softball had an historic 2024 season, which ended at home in the regional round of the NCAA tournament. Today, the Gorillas' head coach announces she's leaving PSU for a Division I job. Jenny Fuller has accepted the head coaching position at Northwestern State University, which competes at the D1 level. She was the head coach for the Gorillas for the past 3 seasons, compiling a record of 105 and 55. Her first season, 2022, Pitt State finished with just 10 wins. The next year, the Gorillas finished with a winning record for the first time in 6 years. Then 2024, Fuller became the first head coach in program history to lead a team to 50 wins. Don't have word yet from Pittsburgh State on when or how they plan on filling the head coaching vacancy. Well, the Riverton 12 and under All-Stars are headed to the Little League World Series Midwest Region Tournament in Indianapolis next weekend. They got to this point by winning the Kansas State Championship last weekend. Now this evening, the Riverton 12U All-Stars hit the practice field. This is the first time since 2010 that they'll represent the state of Kansas in the Midwest Regional, and just the second time since 2002. The team has a matchup with the Iowa State champs in the opening round of the tournament. and is excited for what's to come.
The teams we played, this is a tough area. You know, Baxter, Galena, Cherokee, Pittsburgh, they're good teams. And to overcome that is huge for us. We're a small town of 900 people. So these boys worked hard, and they came out on top, and they deserve it.
It was a pretty cool experience for being my last year, because last year they beat us, and just fun to beat them this year. I look forward to winning it. I want to win it, and can't wait to play that.
Over to Major League Baseball, the Cardinals have split the first 2 games in a series with the division rival Pirates. Game 3 is this afternoon in Pittsburgh. Early start for the Cardinals and Pirates, 12:35 first pitch. Top of the second, no score. Cardinals runners on the corners. Pedro Pajes takes the ball inside. Joey Bart throws down to second on a delayed steal. Nick Gonzalez cuts it off. He gets Dylan Carlson out at third. So the Cardinals, with that being the third out, miss out on a scoring opportunity. Bottom of the second, Pirates up 2-0. Connor Joe hits a line drive into center field. Carlson lays out but can't make the catch. Bounces off his glove. 2-run score. Pirates up 4-0. Fourth inning, Rowdy Tellez absolutely crushes this pitch. Sends it out of the park into the Allegheny River. Pirates take a 5-0 lead. In the fifth, Martin Perez gets in a bases-loaded jam. Wilson Contreras at the plate, but he grounds into a fielder's choice that ends the inning and the threat. Cardinals get shut out by the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Final score 5-0. That's it for sports. Back with more news after this.
The Wilson County Fair is back in town in Fredonia, hosting livestock judging, photography, art, poster competitions, and more. KOM's Melissa Alexis checked it all out.
There's a lot that goes into it, but it's really satisfying to see it all come together when your animals are like perfect and giant teddy bears at the fair.
Shelby Smith has competed in livestock judging contests for many years. She started showing small animals like baby calves when she was just 6 years old. She now shows much bigger steers.
So I show steers now, and I've done that. It's my passion. It's my favorite thing. This year I have 2. Their names are Jim and Bob. They're best friends.
She says preparing for the livestock judging competition is a lot of time and hard work.
Every day my dad and I get up at about 5:30. We go down, we tie them to the trailer, and then we feed them tied up, and then we lead them a couple of laps each. We make sure that they have water, and then we also tie their heads up so that they get used to like standing at attention and looking all pretty.
Animals aren't the only pretty things you'll find at the fair. You'll also find art projects and creative wildlife posters. Grayson Coulter has participated in the poster competition since he was 7. Now he judges the posters at the fair.
When I'm judging a wildlife project, one is like appearance of the board, information on the board, and then also leads into what the knowledge they have, how well they do public speaking, because this is a public speaking project. That's kind of the whole point of it.
The public speaking is one part that Shelby Smith enjoys. In addition to livestock, she's competed in the poster competition for more than a decade.
About 13 years. In particular, I do shooting sports posters, which is the same premise but with gun safety instead of animals. So I've been doing it for 13 years. I've had a lot of success. I've won grand champion a couple of times.
Smith says she looks forward to seeing the creativity the fair brings out in everyone. Reporting in Fredonia, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
And the fair will continue through this Sunday in Fredonia. Well, the annual Cherokee County Fair kicked off this week at the Cherokee County Fairgrounds in Columbus. Every summer, the fair hosts 4-H and open class exhibits, food, carnivals, and other vendors. This morning, 4-H members were preparing their livestock to take to the spotlight.
I mean, I like to wash the pig, walk the pig and get it all ready for show and watch everybody do the fair and everything.
And there will also be a live musical entertainment every night of the fair. Well, coming up, Netflix announces the next focus of its popular Bridgerton series. A new look at the Joker sequel and Benedict Bridgerton's love story gets the spotlight. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has those stories and more in the Hollywood Nation.
The Joker returns, Staten Island vampires get a date, and Benedict leaves in the Hollywood Nation.
I'm honored to accept.
Bridgerton Season 4 revealed the next suitor of the marriage mart is Benedict Bridgerton, played by Luke Thompson. The upcoming 8 episodes will follow his story as he falls in love at his mother's masquerade ball. A premiere date for the popular Regency-era drama has yet to be announced. Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence may be teaming up for a new movie. According to Deadline, the duo are in talks to star in the upcoming thriller Die My Love. The film centers on a mother struggling to maintain her sanity as she battles with psychosis.
Make me a vampire.
The Staten Island vampires of What We Do in the Shadows are gearing up to say goodbye. FX announced the 6th and final season of the Emmy-nominated comedy series will premiere October 21st with the first 3 episodes and stream on Hulu the next day.
She hasn't met the new me.
Netflix unleashes chaotic fun in today's first looks. The streamer released the trailer for its coming-of-age comedy Incoming, which follows 4 freshmen navigating their first high school party. It premieres August 23rd.
You're Joker.
Warner Brothers shared a new look at Joker Folie à Deux. The sequel features Joaquin Phoenix reprising his role as the clown prince of crime, who gets institutionalized at Arkham Asylum while awaiting trial for his crimes. He stars alongside Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. The film arrives in theaters October 4th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a camel at the Oakland Zoo slurping down a summer salad. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.